Good evening, attendees. I am just waiting for a few more members to join, and then I will start our evening's event. Thank you. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to week 3. By now, I should be a resident piece of furniture on your Wednesday evenings as the chair of the SAICE committee. As you all know, I'm Sharon Shanmugam. My co-host for this evening is Professor Mohammed Mustafa from UKZN. Mohammed is an associate professor in geosynthetics or geotechnics and pavement, an academic leader and the head of civil engineering, agriculture engineering, and land surveying. Mohammed's primary area of expertise lies in sustainable transportation. His background and interests center primarily on the experimental and analytical investigation of fundamental materials behavior of asphalt and granular materials for pavement. His main research projects include the use of recycled waste, byproduct, and secondary materials in transportation infrastructure, together with adopting environmentally conscious-driven research in pavement construction, management, and maintenance. His other research includes the application of nanomaterials and IT in developing country transportation systems. He has published more than 80 articles in journals and at conferences. The most recent of these is titled Pavement Quality Index Rating Strategy Using Fracture Energy Analysis for Implementing Smart Road Infrastructure. And this was published in the Journal of Census. Before we proceed further this evening, I welcome all our new attendees. I would like to bring your attention the T's and C's of our event. Please note our event is being recorded. Participant audio and video are disabled. Should you wish to speak, please send a message to me directly toward the end of the presentation. Please post all questions using the Q&A function. We will address this during the panel discussion. Please feel free to use the chat function to connect with industry peers to give us feedback on the event. Please email us after the series is complete, and we will accordingly accord you the CPD points that you require. You will need to send us a complete list of the events that you have attended. We will cross-check this across our registers, and then we will provide you with one certificate. With this in mind, I welcome Sanlam as well as our sponsor to this event, and they will address you later this afternoon. At this stage, I hand you over to Professor Mustafa, who will introduce this evening's speaker. I hope you guys have a great and valuable presentation with us.
Thank you very much, Sharon, and welcome to our attendees. And I assure you that you are going to listen to very interesting talk today. Firstly, I would like to start by thanking SAICE and Sanlam for coming in and organizing this series of talks, which were initiated by our colleague at Civil Engineering UKZN, Dr. Pringle. It is really a pleasure to present to you the speaker today, Mr. Dumisani Nkabinde, or Dumi as he likes to be called, who is a professional engineer with a wide range of experience in the field of civil engineering in South Africa. He developed the interest in the road construction maintenance section while working for a consulting engineering firm just after graduation from UKZN. So he is one of us and he likes to be involved with civil engineering UKZN activities a lot, and we appreciate that. Within the consulting field, he was involved in multidiscipline projects as design engineer and also resident engineer. His career at Sanral started in 2007 when he was employed as a project manager. At Sanral, he has been involved in a diversified portfolio of projects as a project manager, senior project manager, team leader, and currently divisional manager for operations and maintenance in the Eastern Region office, which is based in Pietermaritzburg. As I said, he's a professional engineer. He is also a chairman for SAT East Region, and he is a review panelist for the review of COLTO standard specifications for road and bridge works for state authorities, the Green Book. His presentation today is titled KwaZulu-Natal Freeway Management System, which looks very interesting. We are going to listen to a lot of new things. I think a lot are not aware of this system, and it is going not only to incite us from the engineering viewpoint, but also as residents of KwaZulu-Natal. This is going to be very useful information. So Dumi, over to you.
Thank you, Prof. Thank you for that warm welcome. Now, let me try to share my presentation. Just indicate to me, Prof, if it's working.
Not yet, but just give it a moment.
Has it came through?
Not yet.
Not yet. It should have. Let's see. Can you share? Okay.
Yeah, it's coming.
It has came through. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, thank you for that warm welcome, Prof. I'm gonna be just sharing with you colleagues here the Freeway Management System, simply called FMS. Currently, what we have is FMS that is running along our major arterial in KwaZulu-Natal, which is the N3, and it also runs on the N2. As you now know, my name is Nkabinde, Regional Manager of Sanral in the Eastern Region. So I'm gonna just continue sharing the slides with you. So just a brief about the freeway management system. Where do we have it around the country and what is it? So by the end of the session, you should be having a little bit of knowledge of what is it and where do you have it. So as I've mentioned that there is part of it in KwaZulu-Natal and there is part of it in Gauteng, as well as the Western Cape and Cape Town. So what is it? I think if you look at the history of where it came from, is that there's been a lot of focus on infrastructure itself if there is a traffic growth around the planning of the infrastructure. So what actually happened is we were actually forgetting to optimize the use of technology. And I think around the world, there's been a greater move in terms of what technology can do for us, rather than to always focus on upgrading the actual number of lanes. Obviously, what is the benefit of it? From the FMS side, where we will focus, it is a little bit of a component from, it's a component of the ITS, which is called the Intelligent Transport System. The various components of it, of the ITS as the main, is that the real aim in actual fact is we want to achieve traffic efficiency by minimizing the traffic problems, but we're looking at all modes of traffic, or transport rather. Within just the picture, they're illustrating the number of activities that are integrated to form one system. So hence the IT, the Intelligent Transport System. So within the FMS as one unit of ITS, you will find that there is vehicle-to-vehicle communication, there is infrastructure to vehicle communication, there is communication from vehicle to a grid where, I mean, that is forthcoming. I think maybe a snippet for you. It's when you find electric vehicles that are being charged. And then I think on the communication to communication, we know about the connectedness of the vehicles. In fact, some people are not even aware that when you're carrying a cell phone in one car and the following car is also carrying a smartphone, so the two smartphones sitting in each one's vehicle actually start to communicate and provide a very useful information. If you can maybe say, have you ever noticed when you go to Google Earth and you try to navigate that, it will give you real-time traffic. That real-time traffic is just a data grab based on the mobile phones that you are carrying. The data that is grabbed from each and everyone's mobile phone without your knowledge, but it's actually a blind grabbing. So it doesn't have an identity, it's just, it records traffic movement and so forth. So here for us, I think we're more interested in the freeway management system, as we have, as I've noted. So around the world, you can see that there, in this particular instance, that the operational speed of a vehicle, based on the FMS that is deployed, like the picture on the slide here, is that the travel speed is changed by the road authority. So you can travel at a particular time, it's changed to 100 kilometers per hour. Another time is reduced and so forth. So those are the types of variations around the world, as well as looking at the lanes that as you reach capacity in a particular direction, then you have an option of changing a particular lane to point a different direction. That is all done around the world. But in South Africa, we are not there yet, but it's something that should be considered, because sometimes the traffic is facing one direction. And if you're looking, let's say, for instance, on M3, you're going to Durban, there's traffic, but going back to Pietermaritzburg, there's no traffic. So with this application, you can actually achieve to say, let me steal one lane when there's no peak on that direction, so that you capacitate the direction that has got a problem. So the FMS of background in South Africa, 2006, by the minister back then, it was only 20 kilometers. Now we have Gauteng, as I've mentioned, Gauteng, KZN, and Cape Town. So looking at the KZN, the 172 kilometers, that we currently have running on N2 Venkelspruit to Shagas Rock. And then also, if you look at the N3 Sidara to Devon, there is a various hardwares that are installed, cameras, variable messages, and so forth that are sitting there. At the backbone of it, the biggest, perhaps the most important part of this is the fiber optic and the electrical cables. The fiber optic is the one that is carrying the data for you on the that you actually manage to actually have the videos that are running as you are seeing on the control center. So that's just the map of it, the KwaZulu-Natal. So in terms of how does the FMS work? So you can see the first is you collect the data with the camera, then it is processed on the operation center, then disseminated back to the road. What are I think just looking at the FMS performance and monitoring. So there is this ongoing a process that as we call it within the FMS space, that whatever you do, you have to manage and measure so that you keep on improving. So the goal is operate the freeway at a maximum efficiency, then the objective, improve incident clearance time, and then you keep on doing that, and you repeat. So then you want to clear all the incidents. I think that was our benchmark, that you want to clear all incidents within 90 minutes. But obviously, we are not there yet. But there is that ongoing improvement that is part of the process. Looking at the what you call the timeline. So how does it work? There is an accident, it's reported. The next step, emergency services are dispatched, and then you arrive on the scene, then you leave the scene, and then the traffic is back to normal. So let me see if I can put a pointer here. So I think this part here, where the emergency services is dispatched and arriving on the scene, is really sometimes the life and death situation. So by having this control center, this traffic control center under the FMS, the control center is where you find various parties co-locating in one place. So where you find, I think the next slide will show you where you find SEPs, you find emergency services, you find the traffic officers, and obviously you will find the operators of the system itself. But what happens is as soon as there's an incident that is picked up on the screen, we are rushing on a time how soon we can dispatch the emergency services on the ground. Because you can see it, we can easily go on the you know, the dispatch center of either SEPs or emergency services to say, please dispatch a service, because we can see there's an accident that just happened. So that is when it's dispatched, and I think instead of waiting for someone to report it on the ground, here we can see it live and dispatch it before anyone thinks of it, because we can see it. So that is one of the major benefits, as well as that it minimizes the road user cost, because with the VMSs, you can always avoid incidents or roads where the accidents are. So as I've mentioned, that there is a benchmarking as a process, and then the improvement of the system as you go forward. Okay, my slide is jumping forward ahead of me here, so apologies for that. So I think just further data benefits that we collect. We use the data to accurately measure the response time of the emergency vehicles, as well as the comprehensive data collection. The video archives are used in many forms for debriefing, for training, because we are partnering heavily with the likes of subs and traffic officers, as well as the emergency vehicles. So in terms of simulation of the real life accident, then they can see using the video. So I'll try later on, if I still have time, to show you some real footages of what is happening on the road right now. Okay, I think just here, the table at the bottom, you can see after this was before the deployment of the FMS, where the response time you can see was reaching 28 minutes. But as you start to have these co-located services, fire department, tow trucks, SEPs, and so forth, then you can see there is a reduction in the average response time. So that is a good indicator that what you want to achieve is actually happening. Okay, the benefits of the data: further optimize the network performance, manage the control of traffic on the network, and improve the safety. The next slide is just talking to you about the reliability of the system, that since we want the cameras to be working 24/7, so all the relevant components, CCTV, fiber, and so forth, needs to be working all the time, so that the system can be recording it all the time. This is just a Cape Town office where we are housing the traffic management center. As I've mentioned, these are the services that are part and parcel of that. Right, I think what other benefits do we have with this is that I think the FMS itself, it was a new thing in South Africa. So there were new skill sets that we have to create as a country, which are required internationally. And as well as we created a new quality industry altogether, because now we needed to find operators that will operate these systems. Just looking at the pictures here, this is what you will see when you are at a traffic control center that is linking up all the cameras into the screens. As you can see, the operators are sitting here with joysticks, and they are zooming and rotating the cameras that are sitting on the highway to detect incidents. So the graphs here are picking up the incidents on the ground, and basically the timings, the clock starts from there. So this graph is supposed to be demonstrating to you that if you look at the response time, that there is an improvement, because you are starting there, but by 2012, if you look at the accidents, that the average clearance time, not response time, but was actually reducing. So just the main focus of this slide is to provide you that. And then I think this is just a table showing that where do we normally find most of the accidents. Based on this table there, you will see that there is a significant number of accidents from stationary vehicle. This, as it was in Cape Town, but it is exactly the same as in KZN, that most of the accidents on the N2 and N3 are from the vehicles that are standing on the shoulder, or that have stopped on the shoulder. Small percentage are actually moving vehicles compared to the vehicles that are stationary. So that is what it is, and later on you'll see where we're picking up other events whereby there are incidents that are caused by the walking public or pedestrian. So just in terms of operation, the incidents where they are, there are also events that I think for this was in relation to Cape Town, that there was a lot of reporting when it was first implemented, where they were seeing a lot of congestion being eased down due to the implementation of the FMS. Then in terms of the policies that have followed, there is now under the Department of Transport, the VMS policy. So within the VMS, one or two important aspects of the VMS is that the VMS should display message only when something important is happening. And then when there is nothing, then the VMS must be blank, so that not always there's something on the VMS. I think it has been tested and researched thoroughly that if you do not have anything to display, don't display anything, because then the road users, they tend to ignore the VMS if there is always a writing on it. So when there is a writing, then they pay attention to it. This is just, I think, starting to pick up the activities as you collect the data from points to points. This is further collection of the data. And then after the collection of the data, you will see that you will start to create a hotspot, and you will take that to analysis. And then you can say, maybe there is a point to zoom further into what is happening here, because there seems to be some incident or accidents there. So for instance, you pick up that there is a hotspot in a particular area, or there's always cars that are stopping there. Then you go there and investigate. So I think you can see here, this is a clear demonstration whereby the pedestrians were moving up and down, we picked up always. And then the further images are picking up exactly where the pedestrians were picked up. And then with that analysis, there was a pedestrian bridge that had to be implemented based on the information or data collected by the camera. Further studies on this one. Okay, then you can see just the number of pickup and drop-offs of the pedestrians. Then it starts to indicate to us, is there a shopping mall, or is there a need for implementing like pedestrian crossing or things like a bus laybys and so forth. So based on the information when it comes there, then you start to plan accordingly what interventions you need to put down on the ground. Let's see, yeah. So I think that is just a further indication of the accident briefing. This is all the data that was collected in the Cape Town office. Now let me just take you through what I've demonstrated from the study, that here is a real life incident which happened 2 a.m. and then the next slide, the detection time was I think from 209 to if you look at the 225, and then quickly the center was contacting the SAPs. The arrival of SAPs was 229, which was a significant improvement. And then further is the traffic was deviated to at about 246. And the next is the left lane was open, but it was now from 2 to 7 in the morning, and the queue that has built up overnight was quite significant. But in actual fact, we pick up where we went wrong. Like for instance here, you know, there is a suggestion that while the transition taper lane could have been made longer to allow smoother change of the traffic movement. So you can see that we are starting to utilize the information that what we had here, we could have made it better. And then the queue lane that has built up over that activity was above 2.8 kilometers. And then the road was reopened much later at around 9. So, and back to normal. So that is basically what you do. And then the iTraffic, I think I must just maybe let you know of that you can visit the iTraffic to actually see these centers. They are actually video camera images that you can see under the iTraffic website of SANRAL that have continuous feed of cameras. So KwaZulu-Natal, you can see a visit on your mobile phone, even when you before you start a trip, you'll see the information that is kept there to tell you what accident and incidents that are currently on that particular route you're about to travel. And this is a real-time traffic information. Okay, this was a simple one. This was just the site motorbikes that we're moving in Cape Town. You can see the left lane was closed there, and then the left lane is closed at the Unsmart, and then you can see the cones being erected. Then you can see the start of this toy run of the bikers, and then you can see the main bikers they come. And then the peak there, I think one thing that was noted was a motor vehicle trying to access the off-ramp, causing more delays. And then left lane closed. Proposed cone placement to accommodate curvature on the corner. And then the main road off-ramp open, and the left lane open. So the incident is fully captured there. So yeah, that is my story. What I would like to do also is, let me see if I still have time. Chair, you can indicate if I still have time here.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, let me try to stop the presentation here and share quickly with you. Yeah, so can you still see the screen?
Yes, we can.
All right. So on this one, I think what is interesting here, I want to show to you all the images that we are getting. I think let's see. Okay, play this one for you. So I think while we're waiting here, just let me draw your attention to my screen, which you can see it says SANRAL KZN FMS or KZN. That's the information that we are getting every time. When you can see flooding, if there is a flooding on the freeway, those are the images and the message that will be coming to us that please have a look, there is a flooding here, and then we can quickly attend to it. And another one. And then you can see there is a problem there. Check, this is very recent, that there is a note that there is a sinkhole, safety concern, there is a sinkhole. and it's picked up there. So as soon as it happens, then it's picked up. There it is. Then there is one that the safety concerns that I wanted to play for you. Safety concern down here. It seems like I've lost it, but there was a video that I was trying to play for you there. Okay, it seems like I've lost it, but in any case, I think this gives you a feel of the information that we're collecting. Perhaps I can show you this, that the information is gathered real life, and then based on that, then we can say, oops, there is a problem there. I think here they were demonstrating the screen grab is this particular person and that particular person that are on the highway on a live stream of traffic. So this information is then quickly shared with the contractor on site or the site agent on site to say, oops, your workers are doing something that is not okay. So quickly address it. So and that information is dispatched to sites immediately before any accidents actually happen. Let me try this one more time. Coming through. Okay, seems like the video I wanted to play for you is not coming through, which I thought would have been giving you a much better a picture of what sometimes is happening out there.
I think it is open in your screen down there.
Is it opening?
I think it is opened already. Can you check at the bottom in the middle of your screen?
Okay.
Again, the icon for the VLC.
All right, I'm trying to play on the VLC.
Next to your Zoom icon.
Next to Zoom. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Let's see.
No, the one next to it. Yeah, is it open?
Okay, let me just.
No, it's not coming. All right.
One more time trial. Let me just
Okay.
do one.
Last time.
It's not coming. It's not coming.
All right. May I suggest that after you stop presenting, you can try to play that video, and then at the end of this talk, maybe you can play the video when it is available.
Yes, I can certainly do that, sir. I can do that, Prof. Okay, so yeah, I think, Prof, that gives you an indication of the work that we do when we're talking about the FMS. Okay, I think that's it. Thank you, Prof.
Great. Thank you very much, Dumi. That was very informative and interesting as well, as expected, not only from engineering viewpoint, but from the perspective of the citizens who drives on N2 and N3 all the time. Sharon, if I got you correctly, we are going into the Sanlam presentation first, and then we will entertain the questions from the attendees, correct?
Yes, Prof, that's correct. I'll just give Dumi a chance to stop sharing his screen.
Yeah, and I may use the opportunity to ask our attendees to please write their questions in the Q&A forum. There are only 2 questions right now. So you will have some time to think about your questions, and please type them. We will come back to Dumi and answer your questions after the Sanlam presentation. Thank you, Dumi. Sharon, over to you.
Thanks, Dumi. Thanks, Prof. I'm not sure if you guys want to leave your camera on or you can turn it off. But yeah, we're going to go into the next part of our session. Thank you again, Dumi, for taking us through your presentation. And yeah, so as Prof said, please keep the questions coming. I'm looking forward to it. In the meantime, I will now introduce you to our next speaker. The Infrastructure Lecture Series is an initiative that was brought to life by UKZN, Dr. Pringle from UKZN, as Prof stated earlier, and then SAICE Durban, but also Sanlam, who all came together and decided to provide the engineering students and the members of our industry a chance to network. At SAICE Durban, we took this opportunity to create a renewed interest in the fraternity within both the regional and national engineering industry during what are obviously trying times. I'm actually proud to state this evening that over the past 2 weeks, we have attracted attendees not only from all over South Africa, but also internationally, including Europe and the US of A. So a special welcome to our international guests. We are absolutely proud to be collaborating with Sanlam this evening and through the series, who are our main sponsors. With this, it gives me great pleasure to introduce Mrs. Hashika Premji, who is a mom of 2 soccer stars. And Hashika has begun her career, or had begun her career at Absa Bank as a consultant, and then worked herself towards a business banker. She then joined Sanlam in 2015 as a financial advisor and has then been running her independent practice since then. She is a qualified investment specialist and has a degree in marketing and wealth management. She is currently working towards her CPF. Welcome, Hashika, and I wish you well for your presentation.
Confidence. Confidence is the game changer.
Confidence! Where do I find that, Jose?
First rule, you need a goal.
I don't play soccer.
Nice color,
Right?
but not that kind of goal. What do you want from life?
Happiness.
Success.
Checkmate.
Less worries.
Next, you need a strategy.
I gotcha. Like a game plan.
Exactly. Put in the work and stick to it. Nothing pays better. Trust me. Then you need to be patient.
How patient?
More patient, success cannot be hurried. And most important of all, you need the right team behind you. Do all these things and you will have the financial confidence to achieve anything.
Anything?
And everything, my friend.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to thank SAICE for allowing us this opportunity to chat with you. We started with Michelle, who took us through the financial process, followed by Tutukani, who explained the role of the financial advisor. I am going to take you through budgeting. It's part of the financial planning process and starts with your relationship with money. Budgeting is just a fancy term for keeping track of how much money goes in and how much money goes out, and how much money is left over. Ideally, you would want to spend less than what you earn. You would then save the rest, invest, or put aside for a rainy day. If you spend more than you earn, or constantly scraping the bottom of the piggy bank to make ends meet, then maybe it's time to do something about it. While managing your money seems easy enough, sometimes you can lose track. Many of my clients I have seen have no idea where their cash goes, resulted in them constantly missing out on opportunities to build on their savings. Maybe it's time to set a budget. The B word might sound daunting, but having a budget does not mean missing out. The psychology of money, the way you see money affects you keep or not. So examine the experiences you've had with money. What were the repeated messages? These create your beliefs and if these beliefs affect your perceptions. As the saying goes, we don't see the world as it is, we see it as we are. With careful planning, a budget can be your best friend. It will help you spend smarter and identify opportunities to keep more money in your pocket by simply modifying how you spend your money. A budget can show you tricks of clever spending that you didn't learn at school, such as savings first, bills second. Pay yourself first. Savings will help you keep focused, and I'm telling you, with the lure of a golden carrot, perhaps a holiday or a new car to keep you motivated. It keeps you accountable for your spending and helps you avoid the stress of living beyond your means. Facing the reality. A budget puts you in touch with the reality of your financial situation, pinpointing exactly where you need to tighten the belt and where you can relax a little. You can track every cent you spend on forecast a monthly, quarterly, or an annual budget. Would you expect a successful business operating without a budget? Of course not. So why would you expect a successful life without one? As you become better at sticking to a budget, the easier it is to make your money work harder and last longer. Hence, we are here to help you set up a budget. After all, money enables you to choose how you want to live. So why not learn how to spend it wisely? The spending plan, the good rule of thumb. So how do you know how much money to spend on different aspects of your life? Here's a good rule of thumb to create a spending plan for your income. 35% towards housing, 25% to expenses, and 15% each towards cars and savings, 10% to your debt. The basic rule is to divide up your after-tax income and allocate it to spend. Generally speaking, if you spend 50% towards your needs, 30% on wants, and 15 to 20% soaking away to savings. So what are needs? Needs are those things absolutely must pay for, the essential things for survival. Your bond, your mortgage, car payments, groceries, insurance, healthcare, debt payments, and utilities. These are your must-haves. The needs category does not include items such as Netflix and Starbucks, dining out. Wants are the things you spend money on that are absolutely essential, are not essential. These includes dinner and movies, that new handbag, tickets or sporting events, the latest electronic gadget, and ultra high-speed internet. 20% towards your savings. Finally, to allocate 20% of your net income to savings and investments. You should have at least 3 months of emergency savings on hand in case you lose your job or unforeseen event occurs. After that, focus on your retirement and meeting other financial goals down the road. Saving for retirement is also a critical step in an individual that are living longer. Calculating how much you will need for retirement and working towards that goal, beginning at a young age, will ensure a comfortable retirement. Bottom line, ladies and gentlemen, savings is difficult and life often throws us unexpected expenses. But having a budget in place, you will have a plan on how you could manage your after-tax income. How would you achieve this? Simply draw up your spending plan, commit to the plan, and get your loved ones to buy into it. If you are unsure or not able to find ways to save, speak to us, we can assist you. Here's the greatest thing about creating a plan. The minute you create the spending plan, you'll feel so much more in control, happy that you can make good decisions based on knowing where you should be allocating your salary each month. Life should be enjoyed, and it's not recommended to live like a Spartan. But having a plan and sticking to it will allow you to cover your expenses, save for retirement, all at the same time doing the activities that you enjoy. Thank you for allowing us this time to chat. I would like to take this opportunity in congratulating our winner from last week, Lishle Mukabe. We will be in touch with you to have your gift handed over. Kindly click on the link below to qualify for this week's draws. Best of luck. Thank you.
Thank you, Harshika.
I think you guys are also going to put up a link on the chat box. So yeah, guys, please enter the competition. As you can see, we have winners each week. Again, I am very grateful to Hashika and the team at Sanlam for sponsoring our event. Hashika, I did note that you just said handbags. You said nothing about shoes. So I'm kind of wondering if I can still buy the shoes.
No, you can't.
Okay, that was not fair. Anyway, so moving back onto our actual presentation for the evening, I see that the link is on the screen. Thank you for that, Sanlam. Yeah, moving back to our actual presentation from Dumi this evening. Thank you, Prof. I can see you're back on. And yeah, Dumi, maybe you want to put your camera on and maybe play the video. I don't know if you've gotten it to work yet.
I'm still trying to, well.
Okay, no problem. You can maybe
Well,
just switch your camera on and then we can answer some questions.
Yes, I was looking at the questions instead. I think that's where I lost it.
Oh, no, that's fine. You can maybe email it to me if you want, and we'll try and play it from our side.
I think that can work too.
Okay, all right, we'll try that.
It's just because it's a small video. It's just 7 megs.
Okay, no, that's fine. We can try that.
All right.
Okay, cool.
Let me forward it to you. Yes. Right. Okay. Let me get back to the questions.
Okay, Prof will take you through them. So yeah, he'll just ask them to you and then you can just answer them live first.
Okay.
Thanks, Sharon. Thank you very much, Sanlam, for the presentation. However, as a former Liverpool resident, I have to say that I'm not responsible for what Jose Mourinho has said. I'm not a big fan of him. However, I carry a lot of respect for his achievements. All right, guys, with more serious notes, let's go into the questions. So we have some very interesting ones, and I think Dumi is ready to answer. And the first one is mainly about the FMS system maintenance and management. Keith already went to iTraffic website, and there are cameras which are not working. So Dumi, what is the plan to ensure that the system is well maintained and well managed?
Okay, I must put my video on. I think, yeah, that's one, yeah. All right, so we currently have an operator that is looking at the system. I think in a nutshell, there is a performance management of the operator, which is a private company. Mm-hmm. There are currently a number of not too many, but a number of the videos that are actually not, or the cameras that are not functional. So the first thing that must be noted is the vandalism that it is existing. I think it's prevalent in South Africa in any infrastructure. So that is the major cause of the cameras not being working. But we have a performance-based contract whereby we give the operator X amount of days to get cameras back up and running. So in terms of how are they maintained, the private operator was awarded a new pack for 6 years that started last year, December. So there is always an operator that is looking after the maintenance and the upgrade of the cameras. So I think that is covering the actual question how will we maintain it. Yeah.
Thank you. The next question is from Zinania. I think this is for Sharon. It's about the lecture series recordings. Sharon?
Yeah, thanks, Prof. So every week we are recording the series. I'm assuming the question has come from a student because our members are actually receiving the recordings already. So perhaps what we will do is at the end of the series, we will send Prof and the team at UKZN the link to all 10 recordings, and then you can disseminate it to the students.
Great, thank you very much. Then we have a question from Zipani. It's about implementing the system in rural roads. So is this going to happen? Is this on the table?
A very good question, I must say. Currently, Prof, you are aware you're part of the research panel of SANRAL. Under the research panel, one of the topics, because the research panel covers all our businesses. So there is one under the ITS, which includes the FMS. So with that, one of the main focus is rural setting FMS. We're looking at how we can implement it without heavily relying on the I think the bigger cost, as I've mentioned, is putting the fiber optic. So in rural setting, you really can't afford to put down that fiber optic infrastructure on the ground because it's seriously expensive. So I think if I may give you an indication that, I mean, even just the KZN one, to put it on the ground, it was above $1 billion to put it on the ground and operate it. So it's quite heavy. The current one, I think, is above it's about $500 million, but is mainly focusing on the management and maintenance. So that gives you an indicator. So the rural setting one is based on call it
technology,
wireless, and so the solutions is practical wireless, but is currently being investigated and researched at a research level by various specialists that are spearheading this thing in the country. So it will be there.
Yeah, but it's good that it's on the table and it is under research. So there is some hope that it will be implemented sometime in the future. The following question from William, I think he works for either an insurance company or he had been in an accident. He asks if the system can be used to verify incorrect accident reports for insurance purposes.
You can.
If someone has an interest and he wants to get recordings for a certain period of time for a certain area, can he apply for this recording? Can he get it personally, or is it through a court order, or how does it work?
The information, obviously, it is available, but it is not publicly available because of the litigation or the nature of the usage of it, that it's easily used for litigation, in some instances, instigation and so forth. So it's kept, and as you've correctly said, on court order, we do issue the information to courts. So the courts have got the right power authority to ask for video footages, and we keep all the video footages on our server. This thing is running on a very huge server, a server room that must be kept at a certain temperature, that must always be running without the power and so forth. So the video must be there always.
Great. Then a very interesting question from Tolani about how the system can detect an accident, for example. Are there sensors to tell the operators in the control room that there is something wrong at that area, or does it depend only on those who are sitting in front of the screens looking into the monitors?
Both. It's both. There are sensors that are there that are detecting as well as counting the vehicles. So as soon as there is a packing of the vehicle or the platooning, then it highlights those video footages come on the screen. And I think secondly, each camera is actually running like a few seconds and then changes to another camera, a few seconds to another camera. Since we have a lot of this operators that are sitting there watching the videos, they can actually see, because the right in front of them is like multiple screens that are covering a whole number of cameras, and there's that continuation loop, not loop, but continuation exchange of the information on the screen, so it's easy to detect the accidents.
Yeah, so it's a mixed mode of sensors and manual observations.
Yes, because
there are, yeah, thank you. There is another question from Anonymous about what simulation models are used for traffic. South Africa has high heterogeneous traffic and vehicles stopping on side of the road. So I believe he is asking, or she's asking, about the simulation models used by the FMS system to detect incidents on the system.
Yeah, because I think what maybe I'm not getting the question properly, but
yeah, I think maybe the question is more into how the sensors operate in terms of the simulation models, which I believe may be a little bit out of your area of work. So maybe that person can email me the question. And
no, Prof, I can see what is asking. So
okay.
So yeah, the system itself, I think it's call it an in-house design. The in-house design is it picks up the, like you will know, I'll make an example, like on the toll plazas, that the sensors that picks up the tire or the amplitude of each tire passing through, then it picks up that this type of amplitude indicates a truck, and this one indicates a small vehicle by the axle length or width, as well as the tire to tire distance. So on this particular one, I think the sensors are actually directed at the car itself. It's just that I didn't show them on the system, but they are actually designed, the sensors, to detect that this is a small vehicle, this is a truck, and this is a pedestrian passing through. So it's a combination of motion detectors.
Motion detection,
yeah. So they detect it. As you remember, one of the slides was showing you the mix in terms of incidents that were involved and the counts. Yeah.
Great, thank you. The following question is also from Anonymous, and it's about how many people are working on KZN as operators for a day and night. I'm not sure how this is going to be useful, but
yeah. Yes, let me just say, definitely there is night shift. Night shift consists of operator staff, as well as the SAPS RCI staff is also available and on the traffic control center, monitoring center, during the night, the entire night, as well as during the day. More during the day, obviously. There's a whole lot more. The numbers, maybe there is, as you say, is not really necessary.
Yeah, we have then a question from One Daily. How is flooding on roads picked up by congestion of traffic, perhaps? I think this has been answered because it's mainly the detection of the cameras, the sensors, and the operators can easily identify flood. Another question from Anonymous. Sorry, I'm not a student, no part of the panel. If possible, can you send the links to everyone that register? Okay, that's the Sharon, that's already answered. Okay, then we have Loiseli. The 90 minutes mentioned earlier on the slides. Is your team on schedule with and meet the 90 minutes accident? Okay, so in other words, where are we in terms of reaching that 90 minutes target?
We are not there. We are not there yet, but I think what I can report to you is that when we first implemented this, obviously this was really at the first stage. So what is normally coupled with is that you need to create even certain points. Let me make an example. As you have a dual carriageway, there was one accident here that lasted quite long this year on N3, where there was a truck that overturned and carrying fuel and jackknifed the entire highway, and it was closed for what, eight hours or so overnight. That was way beyond the 1 hour, but there are a couple of things. So we want to have everything to be under 90 in terms of total clearance, but some of them is horses for courses. We have along the N3 implemented a situation whereby we have tow trucks that are available within, I think we have a 10-kilometer radius that have got a 20 minutes response time to the accident so that it can be cleared. All these things, they come with a whole lot of other issues that we are not aware of, but the aim to get to 90 is possible if there are no other complications. So we want to get 90, there.
Yeah, is this 90 calculated based on average, like daily average response time or weekly average response time?
Yeah, and then there's some.
And what is the international norm?
Yeah, I think the international norm is benchmarked on the same 90.
Same 90. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Then we have a question from Sifiso about what other I think components of the ITS are available apart from the FMS. You mentioned FMS is part of the ITS. So are we currently, at least at SANL level, using any other components from the ITS?
If you look at what else that is there, that is available, I think for I think Go Devon. Go Devon will have their own system, and that is another form.
Yes, we had it on Go Durban 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
So
yes,
I think those who attended Go Durban will have more information. And for those who didn't, please, when you receive the links, you can link the two talks together. Then SQL is, yes.
Just the parent is the ITS integrated transport system, but FMS is a component of. So you'll have the bus management system. You have so there are many others that are actually, even the trains, they will have their own system. And sometimes on cities where those two modes are actually utilizing one space, or there is like a crossing that is shared, then the two start to talk to each other. They are integrated. You've got the freeway, and then you've got the rail, then you've got maybe the bus. You integrate them together, and so there's various forms. I'm sure maybe that answers the question.
Yeah, and we have in South Africa what we call the integrated public transportation system now going big in a lot of metros, and there are items available from that ITS already in different locations. Sharon thankfully sent the link for lecture 1 on the chat, so those who are interested can go and download it and look at it. Then Sepo is asking about the significant challenges for the FMS system since inception. You mentioned vandalism, so you mentioned also the cost. So what other significant challenges you think are there?
The grid, the power, I think that's a simple one. That
Thank you.
Yeah. So I think what we are trying to do, you will see some of them, they've got a solar panel. Some of the cameras, they've got a solar panel on top of the camera. Also around the world, also the wind turbine on top of the mast. That is also used to generate electricity and charge the battery so that there is no heavy reliance on the grid. So that is one of the problems. I think with the vandalism, there is a system that we are implementing. Especially we have tried it on the street lighting, because I think street lighting is also part of it. So within the street lighting, I forgot but it's all part of one system. We are picking up if there is a lighting mast that is being cut down. We can pick up where exactly that has happened real time, and sometimes when they are just wiggling around the kiosks that are operating the entire system there, we can also see that someone is wiggling with those things, and then we deploy the security, and we have implemented, even within the FMS, we've implemented the security companies that have got a turnaround time that we didn't have on the first part when we first launched this. So now we know that we've integrated this with a security system that is responsible for making sure that any hiccup on the system, they are there on time. So then also the technology itself, the cameras, you will find that the camera is now okay, but 5 years down the line, you've got a new type of cameras, like in terms of high definitions and so forth. So that changes. And then you also have just you know, the night cameras versus the day cameras. So these cameras are not cheap. Each camera.
Yeah, but do we have a plan? Do we have a plan to upgrade the system every few years?
Yep, that's what we always allow for.
Great. Then Peter is asking a very important question. I think it's about the main purpose of all of this is to reduce the accidents rate on our roads. That's the main thing. It's yes, ensuring traffic flow is important, but reducing the accidents is even more important. So can this system be proactive in preventing incidents relating to stationary vehicles before they happen, they take place?
Very important, as you say, very important question. So when I first alluded to the fact that the combination of infrastructure versus the technology is a combination that makes the FMS. So talking to RTI, which is the inspectorate that is responsible for traffic officers, we are meeting with them, and then we have identified, and you know, that there is some you know, limitations on the infrastructure for the traffic officers to reach to certain sites as quick as possible. So this thing works well if there is that no shortage of the officers on the route, and the infrastructure itself allows that if there are accidents, then you can, or incidents, then you can, there is a quick access to the accident or incident. So for instance, stationary vehicle detected on the video on the control center by video, then the next thing is to inform officers nearby to go and actually get that vehicle moved, or to inform that stopped car that please move, or are you in trouble, and so forth. So that there is that ongoing application of how do we quickly get there. So for instance, now on the N3, we have realized that we don't have enough the spaces between, I think we call them crossovers from one carriageway to another for emergency situations. So we thought about it. We need to put more crossovers because a traffic officer can be traveling a number of kilometers to access the other lane or the other carriageway to actually maybe tell that particular stationary vehicle to move or to inspect. So the crossovers now, we are putting new crossovers in quite shorter spaces so that there is a quick turnaround in terms of the officers won't travel long distance to access an interchange before he comes back to where the incident is. So that is in a way proactive. In some instances for proactiveness, we can see a speeding vehicle can be detected, and then we can inform the officers on the ground that there is a speeding vehicle, please stop it. There is also a linkage with the INETIS whereby if you see a vehicle that is actually have got traffic fines and so forth, we can detect it on the cameras, and the officers on the ground can be informed that a red Polo is coming down your way, please stop it before because it's got outstanding traffic fines, or it's suspected to be stolen or whatsoever, or it was in a hijacking. So there is that activity that is there to be proactive. I hope
so the system is efficient, but now it's the response from the authorities, which is very important to be as efficient as the system.
Yeah, but and I think with the N3 upgrade, we are trying to be proactive in terms of providing the infrastructure that assists the quick movement of the response vehicles. Yeah.
Okay. Do we have some stats already to tell us that the FMS already reduced the accidents rate on N3 or N2?
We do have, yeah. It's very clear. It shows that there is a reduction, yeah. One thing that is also part of this that proved to be very efficient, once you have this thing called speed over distance, the accident rates drops all the way down. And the accident that happens are the ones that you can't avoid, but the bad driver behavior accidents, they go all the way down.
Right. I think also awareness, the people awareness of the system will help in reducing the accidents rate. The next question from Tolani is, I think, related to this discussion, because the system is already collecting a lot of data. So the question is, can this data used for traffic count, pavement design, maintenance, and so on? I think that the short answer is yes, but is it already used at SANRAL, or it's still early to say that?
There is a lot of data that is collected by this, and we are using it. So definitely we are using the data for a whole lot of things, but we also do have other supplementary sensors that are picking up the data that you use for I think for designs and so forth. We've got different types of sensors that are kept on and off ramps along the carriageways and so forth. You'll see them. Some of them are the traditional one where you see a tape that is stuck on the ground, and some of them are just mobile sensors. So definitely it's part and parcel of it.
Right. Yeah, and I think the data also will be very useful for research. So yeah, maybe we will approach you sometime for some data for the research interests.
Yeah.
The next question, I think this is the last one on the list from Yamkila. It's about the collaboration with road safety charities in order to minimize accidents. Is there something taking place? And I'm not really aware of what road safety charities are. So if you can explain to us, please.
if just let me have a look. Road safety charities.
Maybe authorities like RMTS.
Yeah, the other, yeah, the other, if it's a road safety authority like RTMC and so forth, those ones are we belong to one parent company, Department of Transport. So we are already, if they need information, sometimes there is this things called incident audit or road accident audits. So if there was an accident, we need to deploy a team out there that will go and have a look at why the accident happened. So there, it's normally SANRAL together with a whole lot of other road safety authorities that comes to the site to do that. I'm not sure if I'm answering very well.
The question is not very clear to me, but I think it comes into the prospect of collaboration between SANRAL having the information from this system and other authority related to road safety, related to municipality, traffic police, whatever. So how far is the collaboration between SANRAL and all these other entities which are interested in the data? Like you said, you talked about the response guys, you know, the police, the ambulance, and so on. You send the information and they respond. What other types of collaboration are in place apart from this?
Okay. I think that is it's a simple one, really. They are actually, we are co-locating. So in our, as I'm pointing down here, just down from my office, the control center is there. If you go now there, you'll find the traffic officer, you'll find the SAPs. The only people that are not there as yet is the ambulance and the people from the tow trucks that are not there. But we have made allowance for them, so there is space that is open for them. The main idea is that is the co-location. The main idea about this thing, that everyone must be there and contact their control center, or they must integrate our center with theirs so that they can be dispatching from the same center at SANRAL. In Cape Town, it is done exactly like that. So they've achieved the ultimate solution, if I may call it. Here, we are still, I think, as those ones that I've mentioned are already in place. One that I might bring to your attention is eThekwini. eThekwini, we're busy with the MOU to actually tap into their live feed. eThekwini has got its own little FMS there. We are busy with that. I think the current mayor is also trying to I think it calls it Safer City initiative. They've, you know, I'm part of the what you call working group that is trying to put a proper FMS like we have. What they currently have, there is just 1 or 2 cameras that are quite outdated that are there, but they are really busy right now with implementing a proper one. And I think the notion or the reason behind the eThekwini one is to make the eThekwini safer city for doing a visual policing, to pick up, you know, pickpocketing and theft of cars and so forth, and have a live eye around the city of Durban to make the city safer for everyone that stays there.
Great. So this takes us back to the question on rural areas. So now going into metro areas is already there. It's a matter of connecting the system with the metro systems. And the next step to be looking into connecting the rural areas as well.
Yeah.
I think we answered all the questions on the Q&A. I have only one left on my list from my side. You mentioned interesting about using one of the opposite lane if the traffic is very heavy on one side. How do you think this is possible, considering that we always use the concrete island? And did you start already looking into this, or is it just a possibility?
The current infrastructure is not really allowing it to happen, the current infrastructure, but with the upgrades that is happening on the N3, it will be an easier exercise. But obviously the design for the upgrades is designed to such a way that there is just a general relief in the system. And I think our highways, typically the N3 is almost always balanced. So there is not like in some instances where there is a significant shift in terms of the traffic is platooning one way and then platooning the other, and hence they need to switch around. It's not exactly like that. But I think if you look at Teguini itself, the Teguini network, there is a similar, you know, that movement, that there's like a migration this way, maybe in the AM, and a migration that way in the PM. Obviously, as I'm saying that our infrastructure is not really supporting it. You will need to have proper crossovers or easier weaving in terms of the opposing direction to actually achieve that. But around the world, they've achieved it. We unfortunately we feel like we don't have the infrastructure that we are the backbone infrastructure that we are working on in terms of the road infrastructure was not designed like that. In order to change it, you can say sometimes, I mean, the carriageways are like, one is up there, the other one is down here, and so forth. So not really supporting it, but we are doing it slightly when you notice on the toll plazas that if one plaza is operating full capacity in one direction, then you extend maybe the number of lanes to actually support one direction. So it's something that needs to be done, but unfortunately the backbone infrastructure is not really supporting it.
Understood. We got one more question from Ravish about using drones. Is there any plans to use drones to support the current system?
Drones.
No plans, okay, but at least from our side at UKZN, we are involved in a research which is looking into this matter, one of the companies. So maybe when the research is, we are still at very early stage of planning, so maybe Sandra can come on board and then we can look in connecting that to the current FMS system.
Prof, I think that is, you know, those innovative ideas, they go directly to what we talked about earlier, the research that has been done under this. So if instead of having a hardcore infrastructure, you go for mobile cameras as well as the drones, maybe that is the solution for rural setting.
Yeah. So
I've emailed you the video. You can play it from your side.
We are done with the questions. So thank you very much, Dumi. I think Sharon, did you receive the video?
No, I've sent it to you, Prof.
To me? Oh, okay. Yes. Yeah, I got it. So let me see if it works here. So yeah, let me try to share. So
Just that it's
yeah, can you please confirm that you can see it?
coming.
Okay. Is it playing?
It is playing, yes. It's a funny video, really. They, those guys are stealing steel on that.
Yeah.
So that's the advantage of things that you get. So
That's like candid camera now.
yeah. So I mean, then the cops will go up there and then they'll arrest them. So we see them as they are stealing, and then the steps on the that are collocated, they just dispatch a van to go and collect those guys with that package that they've stolen.
Yeah.
So there's many of this. I think also what maybe we saw we're not expecting was the officers, traffic officers are not really liking the system, but I mean they can't do anything about it. Why? Because there's been a lot of they were not aware that you can zoom in number plates, and you can actually zoom in a wallet and see what is coming out of a wallet. So when those funny incidents of a cold drink to an officer to let you go were happening, it was captured on camera. And some of the officers, you know, they were on the opposite side of the law, and from there the word got out that this entry is now a problem. We can't do much on it. So there's that cultural shift. Yeah.
I believe if this system is connected to a metro system and also rural area system, it means that the whole country is covered. This is something similar to what is taking place in the UK. So this is a very effective tool for crime fighting. It's not only about accidents and on the roads, but also about crime fighting. And yeah, it's something very important if it goes the whole way. Yeah. So with that, I think we are at the end of this talk, and I really would like to thank Dumi very much for this interesting and informative lecture and discussion. I'm sure that everyone has enjoyed it. And Sharon, over to you.
Thanks, Prof. I just wanted to ask Dumi one last question. Sorry, Dumi. Is there a value that you can place, like a monetary value, on how much of infrastructure is damaged in the system annually through criminal activity?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I think you can count it by, I think, the number of cameras that are sometimes the vandalism is just they're just looking for a copper cable, not really the entire thing. But the problem is the downtime of not having eyes. So it could be the replacement costs very small, but the downtime and the inconvenience that is caused is so much, because they don't really get to steal the cameras, which are really expensive. Each camera is like $500,000 each. So they don't steal that. They will be stealing like short pieces of copper and so forth. So yeah, I can't really put that monetary value there. But what you end up having is instead of having 100 cameras live, I have 80. So you are 80% efficient or on the ground. So,
okay,
that's how we measure it. Yeah.
Oh, okay, it comes down to efficiency. That's so interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Dumi, and thank you so much, Prof. I really appreciate the talk this evening, and I certainly have come out of it more educated. So thank you so much. You're welcome to turn your camera off if you wish, Dumi. But yeah, we're going to head into closing. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. I just want to attend to a few house issues that I see are coming up continually each week. So the certificates that we issue for CPD are for the members of SAICE that have attended the event. So you have to be a registered member of SAICE that is either a corporate member or an associate member. It's not necessarily going to be sent to the students because you guys are going to be evaluated through a separate evaluation system, which is set out by UKZN themselves. So there's not going to be certificates issued from us to the students. And you guys will not be penalized in any way if you don't get a certificate from us. We are, however, going to be sending Prof and his team attendance registers, so they will be able to verify that you were here or not and whether you were here for the whole event. That's Prof verifying that from his side. That's the first thing. The second thing is that we have a process behind this whole system where the system is recorded, the event, is recorded, but it goes through to our national office, which vets it for POPIA and all of that, and then it comes back to us, and then we send it out to our members. So far, I've put up the link. Sorry, Kavita put up a link that didn't go through, so just follow my link. I put up a link that will link you through to the first event, which was by Carlos. The link for the second event is being processed by our national office right now. And then we will send that out via email to our members. And then I will put up that link next week on the event chat box. And at the end of the series, we will send all 10 links to UKZN, and they will they will then disseminate that link to everybody else, or the set of 10 links. I hope that covers it for everybody else. I see there's another question from the students. So even if you're not from UKZN, guys, the students do not need the register, the certificates for any CPD points. You have to be a professional in order to require CPD to send it off to EXA in order to get accredited. So as students, there's no need for certificates. I hope that makes it clear for everybody. If that changes or if I hear differently, because I'm also in the process of learning here, I will obviously advise you guys, and then as SAICE Durban, we will then start issuing certificates if we need to. There was a question which Prof answered as well in terms of sustainable engineering. On environmental engineering, and Prof said that we should refer to the SAICE Durban website. I suggest you guys rather look at our Facebook page, our Instagram page, or our LinkedIn page. The entire itinerary is on all of those pages. There are a few lectures, not specifically on environmental engineering, but around sustainable engineering or sustainable development as well, that you will find quite interesting in the weeks to come. So I hope that answers everybody on those two topics. Again, I don't know if Michelle, if you're around, please, or Michelle or Hashika, please put up the link from Sanlam for the competition again. And then, yes, that should bring me to the end of all the house issues. So members, that was week 3. Thank you for attending our event. Thank you to Sanlam for sponsoring us again. And it really means a lot to the SAICE Durban team and to UKZN as well. I thank everybody for attending this evening, and I want to welcome you in advance for next week's event, which will be week 4. This will be co-hosted by Dr. Pringle, and our keynote speaker, who is going to be Ms. Kimira Naidu. She's going to be taking us through a project review of the modeling of the Agulhas current And then we are so looking forward to that. Mind you, Kamira is a fellow member of SAICE Durban, so I guess we're going to be rooting for her. Until then, adios, guys, and have a safe week ahead, and we look forward to next week. Good evening.
Thank you, Sharon. Good evening.